In the bustling city of Profuse, Baron Cain returned from his cowardly exile, only to find the power structure of his domain shattered. His hatred for the change he saw in the streets was only eclipsed by his fear of the retribution that awaited him following the events in the capital. With his influence crumbling and his secret hideouts destroyed by unknown forces, Cain realized he had no choice. To survive and reclaim his lost dream of empire, he turned his eyes toward the dark promise of the Supreme Brotherhood. Miles away in the heart of Baymard, life moved at a different pace. Landon, the father of modern medicine, found himself pulled into yet another medical mystery that threatened to baffle the most learned minds of his era. The patient, Andrew McLouth, presented a bizarre and painful case. His swollen, inflamed toe was only the beginning of a lifelong struggle caused by gluttony and ignorance, yet he remained trapped by his own absurd delusions. Landon listened in disbelief as Andrew described a ridiculous social trend, believing his agonizing illness was actually a badge of status. Science collided with superstition, forcing Landon to navigate the stubborn ego of a man blinded by his own vanity. In a calm and methodical manner, Landon finally diagnosed the condition as gout, a manifestation of the patient's catastrophic lifestyle. The doctors watched in awe as the mystery of the white crystals was unraveled by the brilliance of their master. Despite the clear warning of permanent disfigurement and organ failure, Andrew clung to his madness. He rejected the cure, obsessed with a vanity that threatened his very existence, leaving Landon with no choice but to respect the patient's fatal decision. While medical dramas unfolded, a darker threat silently slipped into Baymard. The port, a testament to Baymard's rapid technological advancement, became the entry point for three lethal shadows with a singular purpose. The assassins were experts in death, yet even they were unsettled by the sheer ingenuity of the city they now walked. They marked their target, the royal teacher Winnie Elms, unaware that their target resided within the impenetrable walls of the palace. In the depths of Irongate Prison, a different kind of war was brewing. For Landon Barn, this place was not a cage but a kingdom, a jungle where he maintained his iron grip on the other inmates. He sat in judgment, observing his rivals, including the shrewd Ulrich Tudor. The prison was a landscape of broken men, and he intended to remain the one constant that no enemy could hope to topple. He demanded answers for an act of sabotage that had seen his men sent to the White Room. With a brutal display of authority, he made it clear that those who challenged his rule would find only suffering. The spy at his feet had no good options. To speak was to invite the wrath of his masters, but to remain silent was to face the unrelenting, demonic rage of the great king himself. He was not a man of patience. He unleashed his pent-up rage, ensuring that the message was received loud and clear. His throne was not for the taking, and his dominance in these halls would remain absolute. While dark shadows and prison kings fought for control, the rest of Baymard was bathed in the light of progress. The arcade center finally opened its doors, igniting a frenzy of excitement across the city. Little Momo and Linda, the self-appointed guardians of Landon's schedule, had ensured he made it on time to the historic launch. The children's energy was infectious, and even the king himself couldn't help but yield to their demands. The interior was a wonderland of color and light. Thousands of machines, from classic pinball to digital marvels, beckoned to the crowds, leaving even the most stoic onlookers speechless at the technological marvel before them. Momo was lost in the game, the thrill of the chase and the adrenaline of the challenge stirring something new within his soul. Gaming had arrived, and it was clear this would become the heartbeat of a new generation. As the crowds reveled in their newfound digital kingdom, Landon found a moment of peace with his beloved. Yet, even in the midst of this joy, the system's voice hummed in his mind, bringing news of his success. With the missions complete, his rewards were vast and world-changing. From coding to advanced aviation and forensic DNA sequencing, the next leap for Baymard was already taking shape in his mind. The path forward was clear. He would build the planes, the parks, and the institutions that would cement Baymard's legacy for eternity. The dreams of a king were beginning to manifest into reality, one mission at a time. The world slept, but Landon's mind drifted through visions of a future where his people would soar through the clouds. The day had been long, but the morning would bring the challenges of tomorrow. Far from the lights and laughter, the three killers sat in the dark, their resolve hardened. They were still here, they were still watching, and they were still waiting for their window of opportunity. And deep in his own dark corner, Barn contemplated the coming storm. The prison was his, but the world outside was moving, and he would not be left behind when the final reckoning arrived. Baymard was changing, and with it, the destiny of the entire continent. Landon stood at the center of the turning wheel, ready to guide his people into a new, unprecedented age of progress and power.